have to, by our rules, they have to provide free office hours for you to meet with faculty. So you will have a lot more access to discuss your problems, questions you may have, or different opinions you have from what was presented in class. You will have opportunities to go to the faculty in their office hours, in their offices, and have one-on-one kind of discussion. So these are some of the differences that in approach that we have to education. And hopefully, if you come here, you will appreciate that approach to education. By coming to AUA, you will be joining what we call the AUA family. This is a growing family. Now we have around 4,000 alumni, and that number is increasing every year by nearly 500, 400 to 500 additional, so it's a steep line now increasing. And by joining those, many of these alumni are in leading positions in the industry, government, NGO, and many other international organizations. Some are abroad. About 73% of our alumni are in Armenia, working in Armenia, but a number are abroad studying or working as well. So by becoming an AUS student, you join this community, this family, growing family, and there's every effort to connect these. The alumni come back to mentor, and once you become a member of those, the alumni, the graduates, there are events where we bring these alumni together, and so a lot of networking happens. I want to say a little about the cost of education at AUA. We often hear that AUA education is very expensive. Well, of course, it's more expensive than other universities. Partly it is because of our salaries for faculty is a lot higher than faculty salaries in other universities, but also facilities that we maintain are also more costly. And one of the things that our students, our graduates remember are the quality of the facilities and the environment, the entire experience of studying and living in AUA for a few years. But I want you to know that the education at AUA is heavily subsidized. The cost per student is a lot more than the tuition we charge. In addition to this subsidy, and the subsidy happens through our donors, this university does not receive funding from either the Armenian government or the U.S. government. The Armenian government provides some support for certain students from border regions or some special categories, but all in all, our operating expenses are paid through donations from Armenians or non-Armenians all over the world, including in Armenia, and we are very grateful to them for making it possible for us to offer subsidized tuition. In addition, as I hope everyone here knows, we have this policy of need-blind admissions. That is, when we consider admission of a student into our programs, the capacity to pay the tuition is not a factor. We admit students on the basis of their academic qualifications. Once admitted, then we look and see whether the student needs financial support to attend AUA. And so we have a committee, we have a big process. Those of you who end up applying, their files will be reviewed, and a committee decides based on the documentation how much support we get. So I want you to know that even though we might be expensive compared to other universities, I want you to know that diversity of our student body in terms of their economic capacity is an extremely important factor for us. We want to be a university open to all qualified Armenian students, not only those who can afford paying the tuition. So, but actually 50% of our Armenian students receive some amount of financial aid to be able to come to our university, and we are very proud of it, that number, as you may know, the government requires 10% of student body to receive financial aid. In our case, it's almost 50% of our students. I want you to carefully review what will be presented and make a decision whether you wish to apply to come here. We would be very happy to accept your application and review it very carefully, and hopefully you will be successful in being admitted, and hopefully you will attend AUA and become a member of the AUA family. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you will have an enjoyable day.
Thank you, Dr. Terkurian. I'm actually really excited to introduce our next speaker. This is something very new for AUA. Who has heard that AUA has an industry liaison? Oh, look, no hands go up. Oh, you've heard. Okay. He's going to talk a little bit more about what that is. Artur Khalatian also teaches in our College of Science and Engineering. After securing his degree in economics from Jour. How do I say that in English?
Very traditional.
He then went to LSC for a master's degree in Digital Innovation and Information Systems Management. So please welcome me. LSE, do we know what? I assume everyone knows that. So London School of Economics, yes. So Artur Can, please come on up.
Wait for 7 seconds for this to turn on. Is it on? It's on. Well, good morning and welcome. Thank you, Arina, for introduction. You know, industry liaison is a new thing for Armenia, and AUA as a model university picked that new thing and is doing first time. And so we are kind of in the process of understanding what is it really going to be. But I spend a lot of time with all the companies and talking to them, asking, so what do you expect of us? And designing programs that can help our students to do a lot more with the companies while they study. And so what I hear on and on again from all the companies about the quality that they expect from any employee, and it's not a quality, it's like a calling or I don't know, but if they cut it short, they say, you know, we just want people to marry the company. We want people to marry their career, to marry their work. That's how we consider the best and most successful people to be. And so today's talk is about marriage. Right? Well, you know, when you think about the time of education, the time you spend on education, have anyone ever counted how many hours we spend in education? Like the school education, the standard, like the 12 years that we spend in school, how many hours do you think? Any numbers? Guesses? Well, it's 18,000 hours. And then higher education is half of that, right? And then if you look at those numbers, it's like, and if you are a bit hardworking person, then it's 30,000 hours. You imagine that. You spend on education. Now, how much money do we spend on education? We and our parents. No? Any ideas? Well, that one is really hard to calculate. I'm not going to give you a number, but that also includes the money that you give up for one reason, to get an education, right? That's not only what our parents and we are spending on education, but also we are deciding not to earn for a certain period of time and to go and study and do all those sort of things and listening to lectures and writing and then reviewing and then building and constructing new things and then dancing, painting, whatever we study. Now, with all these things, does it really make sense to spend all these resources? Because the time is the most precious resource. We can't recover it, right? And the money, does it really make sense to spend that much time and money if we don't have some clear answers to some clear issues? What is it that we are going to do with that education? Dr. Tertullian talked about the cost of education, but it's actually costing a lot. But if we look at it, we are doing that cost in the period when we can clearly call it an investment, right? It's an investment. We are investing in our future, in our better lives. And that's a very hard question. What is it that we love really doing? What is it that we will be enjoying doing? Where are we going to spend most of the days? Talking to whom? Hour after hour, day in and day out, year after year. You know, there are some careers that are really easy to take in and fall in love and pursue, like arts, like dancing and acting, singing and playing piano. You know, my daughter went to a ballet school for 2 years, and if you ask her, that's her happiest years at the school. And there are several reasons to that, but the biggest reason is that she clearly knew what her profession really looks like. She would go in the morning for a training, do an exercises, all the stretches and moves, and in the evening she would go and watch her teacher performing on a big stage at the opera house. Would you imagine that great experience of learning and seeing what are you learning? Now imagine your mathematicians or physics or economics and literature teacher teaches you in the morning, and then in the evening you go and see them performing, doing math in front of a public that has also this great feeling and appreciation of what the great math looked like. So there are 3 main things I want maybe you to go out, at least with one. But first thing is please give your career choice the same importance as you would give as the amount of importance and attention and time as you would give, for example, when you choose your place for your wedding party. That's your career. That's your whole days and nights, possibly. I'll go even farther. I think you should give it the same time and amount of attention and importance as you would do when you are choosing your soulmate. Because that's what you will be living with. And the second thing that's really important is how are you going to understand what's this career is going to be about? Any ideas like what does the economics professional do in everyday work? What is it made of? They go in the morning, then what do they do next? Well, some professions you know which are very obvious, like you go and there's a teller in the bank, or I don't know, the nurse, you may know. But the professions, if I may just list through the degrees that we are offering at master's level, like business administration, right? And you tell me at the end which one you really feel has the answer, what is this person doing, okay? Economics, strategic management, teaching English as a foreign language, law, political science and international affairs, and public health, and industrial engineering and systems management, computer and information science. So which one you really have feel for the daily routine, what is this person is doing? From the list that I made. Computer and information science. Well, that's a very interesting answer. How many of you know what does the computer and information science professional does in their work? 1, 2. Now, how many of you do know what does the teacher of English language does in their work every day? Like all of us had teachers, right? It's really, you see, one of the biggest things, challenges with choosing a profession is that there are 3 major things that we are concentrating on. One thing is titles, like the manager, or the computer software engineer, or a doctor, right? And the other is based on the subject that we are studying, like mathematician, physician, and I don't know, chemistry and biologist and linguist. And the third is, of course, the degrees, the titles of degrees that we have at universities. But it's really hard to understand what to do with those degrees after graduation. What are people doing? So my third point that I want to ask everyone, just be very curious about what is it means to be in that profession. Go out and talk to our students. Go out and talk to our graduates. Find all those questions to get this real feeling. Kind of make an effort to make a test drive for your profession. Otherwise, it will be really a strange journey, like you are going somewhere, you know kind of titles, you know what it should be supposing, but still you don't really have that feeling of living together, right, with your profession. And so give it a name. Give whatever you love doing a name. And it shouldn't be being a manager. It should be more simple things, or writing a code, or writing a piece, or painting, or talking, or negotiating. So how many professional PlayStation players we have here? No one? Or we have 3 at least. How many people can cook something that is really great? How many people enjoy building something, like a model of something, or drawing something, designing, making all these doodles during the classes? Well, these are really simple things, but it's really important to find that you really love doing that particular thing, because there is one great reason. If you really fall in love with your profession and you really love doing, you will spend so much time with so much enjoyment that you will outwork everyone. And that's one of the biggest things that can bring you to a success and to a happy and enjoyable life. So 3 things just to remind. Give your choice the same importance as you would give when you are looking for your soulmate. And then be very vigilant and curious so that you don't miss the soulmate when you meet him or her. And third, give it a real name. Give it a real thing that you really love doing today. Not in the future. You already are 20, close to 30, some of you, right? So you definitely know what you really love doing. And I promise you, you will be able to find anything, in any field, a really great job to do and be very successful. So just marry your career and don't just choose it, okay, for spending that's like boring times with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Artur. I feel like we should have brought a priest today to have a ceremony. Okay, so now, in addition to me, I'd like to introduce our provost, Dr. Randall Rhodes. He is here for two purposes. One, he's checking to see if I'm doing my job okay. Second, he will be co-presenting with me to talk about the grad programs. So I want to get you a microphone, which is right over here. Okay, so everyone can hear me okay? Okay, so schedule of events. Okay. So in terms of a schedule of events, we're going to talk about AUA and the admissions process very, very quickly. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about financing your education. Dr. Tekyeryan spoke a little bit about the cost of education and what we have to support our students. Program visits. Who is interested in attending a program visit? Raise your hand. This is probably one of the most important parts of the open house. So if you are not planning on staying for the program visit, I highly encourage you to do so. We'll give you two options. So if you're still unsure what your preferred program is, you can go up to 2. At around 2:10, we'll have a presentation about how AUA supports you in progressing your career. At 2:40, who has started their online application or who's, okay, so we'll do a session on how to properly fill out your application. Unfortunately, we still get a lot of issues when we have submitted applications. And then all day, if you need to run out, we have the admissions office, the extension department, and the financial aid office ready to answer your questions. So if you have to run out, that's fine. Go ask your questions quickly there. So very quickly, why are you considering studying at AUA? I can't say the word, what brought you here? And for people who answer my questions, I have the bowl of chocolate. My children, Randall is very upset because my children are not here to run around with the chocolate. Who wants to be my child? Lilit. Okay, so why are you guys here? Why are we interested in AUA? Anyone? Not even for chocolate? You're killing me.
What makes AUA different from other institutions in Armenia? English.
English, okay. Does she deserve one? I don't know. Okay, so the language of instruction is English. Why are you guys thinking about studying? I do the whole awkward, I will not move on until you answer my question. So there you go. I have someone in the back. You have to scream because I can't hear. Method of teaching. Okay, good. Who else? Environment. Future career opportunities. There's one that I want to hear that no one's telling me yet. Knowledge, okay. It's the best place to learn public health. Astrid, are you here? Did you hear that? Okay. I'm still not hearing the one thing. Here, let me help you. Family, right? You want to marry AUA. That's right. Artur talked about that. In addition to that, one of the main reasons that a lot of people want to come study at AUA is because of our accreditation and because of our licensing. So when you graduate with a degree from AUA, then ultimately you are getting a diploma that is basically given by the WASC Senior College and University Commission, that is accredited and confirmed by them. So that means you're getting a very quality education.
So besides being licensed by the Republic of Armenia, we also have U.S. accreditation, and we also have an affiliation with the University of California system. So many of our curricula are aligned with those at the universities in California. We use those for benchmarking to make sure our student learning outcomes are the same as those of the institutions in California. So when you graduate from AUA, your diploma, your master's degree, is recognized by universities in California and across the United States. So if you want to get a PhD, if you want to get a doctorate, they will understand AUA and the piece of paper and your transcript. So it makes an easy transition after you're done with AUA to get your doctoral degree in the US.
Some interesting facts and figures. So when you enter AUA, Dr. Derek Yuragian spoke about the alumni network that you'll be joining. But in addition to that network, you're with about another 1,750 students. That will grow up to about 2,000 students in a couple of years. The majority of students are coming from Yerevan. So who here is from Yerevan? Raise your hands. Okay, who's from the Shurjans? Who's from the regions? Okay, and who is not from Armenia? Okay, good.
Good.
So it seems pretty indicative of what we see here.
And the audience is a majority female, which also is indicative of the AUA population.
Said by a male. We have about 250 total faculty that teach, and I think one of the things that Dr. Derek Yuragian highlighted that is very important, the faculty are paid well, they're very committed to your education, they're committed to you. So that's one thing that you will definitely benefit from if you study at AUA. We have an amazing library. Who's visited our library? Are you members of the library? So for those of you who said no, you can actually join the library, and when you start preparing for your exams, because that day will come, there are a lot of great books there that you can use as a member. In terms of alumni employment, so one of the main reasons that a lot of people choose to go to a specific university is what happens after. So I've graduated, am I going to get a job or am I not going to get a job? So if we look at the statistics of the alumni so we have about 82% are employed, whether they're employed at an organization or they've started their own businesses. About 2% are studying. About 5.3% are seeking jobs. And then about 10%, they're either raising families or they did not respond to our survey. And in terms of the industries that they're working in, we'll see. So out of curiosity, who's interested in pursuing a career in the field of business, in the business industry? Okay, so not too many. Who's interested in IT, telecom? Okay, so a few of you. Who's interested in education, research? Who is interested in international organizations or government? Who is interested in NGOs? And for everyone else who's not interested in anything? What did I miss? So what are we interested in that is not mentioned here? Wow, you guys are hard. You're interested in chocolate? Oh, I'm in. Okay, someone I think mentioned public health. So we have a lot of people that are also working, whether it's for the Ministry of Public Health, working with hospitals and things like that. So I think one of the benefits is after you graduate, you're definitely going to have a lot of support helping you get to the career that you'd like to. When you study at AUA, who's lazy? God, I hate when they're honest. I was hoping no one would raise their hands. Okay, so for those of you that are not lazy, if you're doing really well in your academics, one of the great opportunities is that you might be able to take advantage of Erasmus Plus exchange opportunities. So we've had about 25, 30 master's students who have spent about one semester in Europe studying at a different university where those credits will come back to AUA. Costs are fully covered through this grant, and it's typically given to the students who are doing really, really well. So who's lazy but wants to no longer be lazy so they can study abroad? Okay, at least I have 3 people. For the people who are not from Armenia, and for those of you who are from the regions, one of the new things that we'll be really excited to share is in spring 2020, so a little bit more than a year from now, we're going to have a really nice set of dormitories. Who's in Yerevan and no longer wants to live at home? Who lives at home? Raise your hands. Who doesn't want to live at home? See, they all love having their food made for them and having their laundry done. Well, when you decide you want to try the independence route, we'll have this really amazing set of dormitories. You'll note that the cost is very affordable. It'll be about 50,000 dram per month for a shared room. It'll be fully accessible for disabled students, and I mean, you can see it's really nice. Who knows where it's near? Do we know where Parajanov Museum is? Yeah. Okay. So can you physically walk from AUA to Parajanov Museum? Like 20 minutes, right? So it's not too far away. The EPIC presentation, Michael Kuchakchian was here. Unfortunately, he had to run out. We're going to hope that he comes back, so I'm just going to skip over these slides, and then hopefully we'll do them at the end. Now, in terms of AUA study options, out of curiosity, who is here because they're interested in seeking a graduate degree?
Could be everyone.
No, because they could be non-degree or certificate. Who is interested in a certificate program? Okay. Who is interested in non-degree? Good, so either graduate or certificate, it seems like. Currently, we have the following graduate programs that are offered at AUA. So raise your hands if you hear the one that you're interested in. So who's interested in pursuing an MBA? Raise your hands. So for those of you that raised your hands, I'm assuming that you guys have 2 years of work experience, correct? Okay, they don't want to answer.
At least.
Who is interested in economics? Right, so we have a few of you. Who's interested in strategic management? Okay. Who is interested in Master of Public Health? Laws. Political Science and International Affairs. Who's going to be president of Armenia one day? 1, 2. Aloyan, I'm a little nervous about you being president of Armenia. Who's interested in pursuing a career teaching English? Okay, good. And then we have in our College of Science and Engineering, Computer and Information Science, a few of you, and Industrial Engineering and Systems Management. Okay, good. So you'll note here program visits will start at 1 o'clock and 1:50. Locations are written in your agendas. For the certificate programs, we went from having 2 programs. So anyone interested in a certificate in translation or certificate in teaching English as a foreign language? Okay, so there's a few of you. And then we just rolled out 2 new certificate programs. One is a certificate in finance, and the other is certificate in data analytics. And you'll see that they also, where their program visits are located, again, in your agendas.
So a certificate is a cluster of 4 courses that give you a taste, give you a sampling of what one of those master's programs are like. So it's a good way for you to test out master's level education on this level with a lower commitment. And if you like it and if you do well, then you apply for the master's program. So obviously translation, teaching English foreign language leads to the master's in teaching English foreign language, and the other 2 lead towards the master's in economics. So it's a good way to test the waters.
So who knows the application process? Who has already started it? So there are a few of you. Okay. The best thing to do, the first advice that I will give is before you actually start doing anything is to look at our website. Who has been at the admissions website? Good.
What did you think of the 360-degree tours? Don't they make you dizzy?
Who has actually looked at the 360 virtual tour available? Look, they can barely sit. They're so dizzy, Randall. Do you see that? And on that website, so if you go to the graduate link, you'll see that the application requirements, the deadline dates, how to apply, everything is written there. And if you have a question, who is your best contact? Who do you reach out to? Not me, as well as if the full Office of Admissions team, raise your hands, wave. So again, all ladies, interesting dynamic going on. You reach out to one of us, we will answer all of your questions. In terms of deciding on your preferred program, who's still uncertain? We're not 100% sure what we want to study. So for those of you, that's a really good thing. One of the things that we would recommend is you attend an open class and you start learning more about the programs that are available at AUA. You look at the courses that are offered, the learning outcomes, and that will hopefully give you a taste of whether that's something you're interested in. Look into our policies, know what the options are to finance your education, and we'll have Marina speak to you in a little bit about that. And then again, contact us if you have any questions. So this is our website. What do you click on here to learn about your program? Graduate, yay. And then this is the submenu that you would be able to look at. So if you're still wavering back and forth between the programs, you can see a link of what they are here. The selection process and target scores outlines how a decision is made on applicants. So that's definitely very important information. The application requirements are there, the full tuition and fees, how to apply, deadline dates. So you'll see a whole lot of information. And before you contact us, we see something called that. What does that mean? frequently asked questions. Right, so I definitely recommend, we've even made it easy for you. We've broken them down by subject. So if you have a question about recommendation letters, the FAQs will have something about recommendation letters. So do definitely look into those. And the flyers, if you are not able to go to all of your program visits, every single flyer that we have for distribution here is also available for download under that link. The sample of class, so this is our open class offering that we have. Who has attended an open class? So do you guys know that you can actually attend any open graduate class for one course just to see what the class dynamic is, to see the faculty in action? Did you know that? Do you know how much we charge? How much money does it cost? It's free. So definitely look at it. We have more than 90 courses that are currently offered, and these are some of them. Who's interested in law? Who can tell me what PIL stands for? What is it? You don't know. Does anyone know what PIL is? I want you to go to the LLM program and see if you can figure it out. It has something to do with public international law. Okay, and then more information about how to register is available directly under that link. We do require entrance exams, and I'll go over the list. What do we need to do to prepare for entrance exams? We need to study. Who's excited about studying? Okay. So again, as I mentioned, we have the library that has a lot of amazing resources. We have an extension department that has a lot of experience preparing you, whether it's for TOEFL, whether it's for GRE. And then our Master of Laws program actually provides free preparatory courses for the LSAT. Now the admissions process, very quickly. Everything is done online, except who's planning on applying for spring admission? So who is interested in starting in January? So for those of you that are hoping to apply for January admission, I want you to approach the admissions office downstairs. We'll walk you through the process because it's a little bit different. You'll be filling out a paper application. But for everyone else applying for next fall, it's going to be done online at this website. What are our deadline dates? So if you're applying for August, September, when are our deadline dates? What's the first one? Who said it first? I heard someone over there. Okay, so she gets a chocolate. So the first early admission deadline is January 31st. What's the next one? Who said March 31st? You're applying for undergrad programs. April 30th. Who said April 30th first? She thinks she said it first. Hamis Dusunanum. Blue flowery shirt. Don't throw it, Lily. You might hurt her. And then we have one additional deadline called the rolling admissions deadline. Who knows what the deadline is there? July 1st. Who's interested in MSSM? Can you apply for July 1st?
No.
Why? Because the courses start in June. And just a quick note about rolling admissions, it's completely dependent on space availability. So we definitely encourage, if you're able, to apply by April 30th. Okay? The application requirements are the actual application itself, which includes information about your academic history. It includes a statement of purpose or two, depending on how many programs you're applying for. It includes your resume. Do we love your resumes? Why? Because they're usually very old and lots of mistakes are in them. So please make sure you update the resume.
Plus the photos of you doing a little selfie while you're sitting in the car. That's not going to help you get into AUA. So the whole resume needs to look professional. If you do have a photo, and a photo is not necessary, in the United States we do not include photos because then it could lead to discrimination. So if you do have a photo, make sure it is a professional photo, not a casual one of you with a drink in your hand. So that's just a tidbit of advice.
And if we read indirectly between the lines of what Dr. Rhodes said, just get rid of your photo. That would probably be the best advice. Who has a Europass resume? Update it. We don't love them, right? Because we're not Europass University. We're AUA American style. So try to redo your resume. We also require 2 recommendation letters. Should your best friend or your sister or your mom be filling out your recommendation? No. And actually, experience shows they're usually a lot harder on you than other people. No, we will not accept recommendations that come from friends or family members. And then the exams, proof of English language proficiency, we'll go over the exams. Some other programs require an additional exam, and you may also be invited for an interview. So the exams that we accept for English include the TOEFL IBT and the IELTS Academic. For those of you who have studied in English during high school or throughout your university career, we also have something called a waiver that you can inquire more about. And these are our target scores. The targets are actually tirachain in Armenian, but generally the averages of incoming students are higher than what you see here. For the graduate admissions exams, depending on the program, so you'll see for the MBA, MSSM, and MSc, the target score is the 60th percentile. I see a lot of you taking photos. This is all on our website, all of it. It's also in the flyers that we've given to you, but you're more than welcome to take a photo. I can pose for you as well. And then for the other programs, CIS, Industrial Engineering, and Master of Public Health, your target is the 50th percentile for either the GRE or the GMAT. For the Political Science program, you're aiming to get a 25th percentile, and then Master of Laws, 140 or higher on the LSAT. Now, quantitative section only, right? So when you take the GRE or when you take the GMAT, we're only looking at the quantitative section. We're not looking at the verbal and reasoning sections. LLM, so who is interested in law? Do you guys have bachelor in laws? Have you done your undergraduate degree in law? For those of you who have done a bachelor degree in law, then you may be eligible to not take the LSAT. You can apply for an LSAT waiver. At the time of your application, you're also giving us information about your proof of undergraduate studies. Who has already graduated university? Who's in their final year? Okay, so for those of you who are in your final year, you'll be giving us all of your transcripts for whatever years you have completed, as well as a letter of standing. And then for everyone else, you'd be giving us a final transcript as well as your diplôme. And if you've done, who's also already done a master's program? So we'll want every degree that you've completed, we'll want information about that. Now for those of you who are applying to our certificate programs, these are the deadline dates. Only the CTEFL program does not do rolling admissions. And again, rolling admissions will be completely dependent on space availability. Selection. So this is what our incoming class will look like at the graduate level. So you'll see that for the Master of Public Health program and Industrial Engineering, we have about an average of 20 students that will be able to start. That's how many seats we have available for this year. CIS is 30. Let me see if you can read. How many seats does MSSM have? Karasun, 40 exactly. And so you can see the breakdown of the rest of them. And that is important. Why? Because depending on the number of applicants, competition arises.
But it also brings up the point, why should you be applying early in the cycle? Again, it's all space available. If in the early admission cycle we got a lot of very good candidates for like MPH, MPH may fill by March or April, and there may not be any seats left if you apply in the later cycles. So your chance of actually, if you are competitive, if your scores are very good, you'll have a much better chance getting in if you apply earlier. And also, as we'll have the discussion in a few moments, the better the chance that you'll get maybe some financial assistance, because the seats as well as tuition assistance may go to the people who apply earlier if we have some very high quality students. So if you're going to wait until May, June, or July, there may be nothing left. So there is an incentive to apply early in the cycle.
Who's already made a decision that they're applying either by the early or regular admissions deadline? Do we have anyone who's waiting for rolling? Try to act faster. See if you can maybe apply earlier. And how decisions made are at AUA. So does Dr. Rhodes or do I get to decide on who's admitted? No. How do we think that process happens? Who decides? Committee, exactly. So the first step is when you submit your application is our office will do a technical review. When we do the technical review, we're making sure that everything is complete. A lot of times, maybe 1 out of 2 applications is always missing something. So please try to be a katima, is very attentive to detail when you're filling out your application. It's my favorite word. I actually have Katimazutun written on my board in my office. If your application is deemed complete, then it goes to the programs and then ultimately to the Graduate Admissions Committee. They are looking at your applications holistically, so they're not only looking at your English language, they're not looking only at your test scores or your grades from university, they're also looking at your work experience if you have any. They're also looking at your statement of purposes, your recommendation letters, your application as a whole. And then once they review, they'll make an ultimate decision on whether you're admitted, you're deferred, you're not admitted. And you will receive that decision within 12 weeks of the deadline date. So the sooner you apply, the sooner you'll know whether you're admitted or not. And everything is sent out electronically. We send out a lot of emails. So who's already started an application? What happens when you start writing an application? You got an email from us saying, thank you, we're so excited you're applying to AUA. So just make sure that you're reviewing those emails because they have a lot of great information in them. So very quickly about tuition and financial aid. Currently, we have more than 10 different options to help you finance your education. Now, who's a citizen of Armenia? So for citizens of Armenia, like Dr. Terkyarian mentioned, we practice need-blind admissions. If you can't pay for your education, that will not affect your application for admission. And then every single cent or dram that you pay towards your tuition, 26% of that goes back into a pool of funding for financial aid, which essentially means that we'll be able to provide a lot of support to our students. These are our tuition rates that you'll see, and I'm not going to read each one out because they are included in your package as well as on our website. I love that you guys are still taking photos. And in terms of just a very brief overview of the amount of people who've received financial assistance, so last year, those students who applied, 48% of those who were admitted ultimately applied for tuition assistance. 71% of that 48% received some form of assistance. And the average discount was Inchkan. How much do you think we discounted the education? A lot. The average was 55%, and as Marina will say, it's between 0% to 90%. But unlike a lot of stores in Armenia, we do not do 0% on the window. We don't write that there. And then for international students, every single international applicant last year who applied for a scholarship received some form of an award, and the average discount was 43%. So I will ask my colleague Marina to continue. Are you okay with this? Or do you want me to give you this? Okay, good.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being present here today. Let me firstly introduce myself. I am Marina, Financial Aid Coordinator from the Office of Financial Aid. And now I'm going to quickly introduce you financial aid policies and all the possible options you have to implement during your studies at the American University of Armenia. We take great pride in our essential task of helping students achieve their educational potential by providing appropriate financial resources. And that's why we highly appreciate if you have any financial aid related issues to forward them to us so that we find the best solution to your case at the earliest possible timeline.
Your presentation's on the desktop. There you go.
Thank you. So, we're going to talk about financial aid itself, what it represents, and what types of financial aid exist. Also, who is eligible to receive financial aid and how to apply, how is going to be your application process, and more questions like that. Financial aid policy states that tuition assistance is need-based financial aid available for degree-seeking full-time students or applicants. And if you have citizenship of Armenia, you are eligible to apply for a need-based tuition assistance. In case of international students or those who hold 10-year residency card, you are not eligible to apply for need-based tuition assistance. However, we still have some other options available for you. We will talk about it a little later. The levels of financial aid are going to be from 0% to 90%. There is a special financial aid committee who makes decisions based on the documents provided by you and your situation, and the information that you provide is going to be kept anonymous. In order to apply, you need to make sure that you have at hand your financial aid application form, which is available online. If you go to our website, financialaid.aua.am, there you will see the fourth form of the application form, which you're going to fill in and submit the hard copy of it. Together with the necessary documents, you have a checklist in your folders. You need to make sure that you have all the necessary documents at hand to have your financial aid package available. As I've mentioned, the checklist is available in your folders, and you're going to present all the documents, to submit all the documents by hard copy and not online. And I would like to explain you the mechanism, how it works with the deadlines, yeah? You need to check our deadlines on our website. It is simultaneous with the admissions deadline. So if you're going to apply to admissions by early deadline for financial aid, you need to apply by February the 7th. In case of regular deadline, financial aid deadline is going to be May the 3rd. In case of rolling, I would like to mention that here we have fund limitations. So that's why it is more advisable for you to apply by early or regular deadline in order to get tuition assistance as well. And tuition assistance awards are allocated for one academic year, not per semester as many students tend to think, but for one academic year. And in order to get tuition assistance for the upcoming academic year as well, you need to plan ahead and apply by March the 1st every year for your upcoming academic year. In case of academic scholarships have nothing to do with need-based, with your need, with your social status, etc. Because here, all that is taken into account is your merit, your academic performance. Each year, Ministry of Education allocates some spots, announces how many spots are available for academic scholarships. And applicants or students do not need to apply for the latter. Every year, spots are announced, and in case you are eligible for it, you will get. In case of international students, they are eligible to apply for international scholarship, which is merit-based. It is not need-based, this is merit-based, and it covers up to 50% of your tuition. In order to apply for international scholarship, international students need to submit the application form, which is again available on our website, and also write an essay. The deadline to apply for international scholarship is June the 30th. Also, we have another option available, which is called Aurora Gratitude Scholarship. This option is available for citizens who come from the following countries: Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, and starting from this year, Russia, Georgia, and Iran. In case you have a citizenship of the above-mentioned countries, it means you are eligible to apply for Aurora Gratitude Scholarship and get up to 100% of scholarship. Also, in some cases, airfare to Armenia from the country of residence is available, and housing cost in the university dormitory. The deadline to apply for Aurora Scholarship is June 30th. So what other options do we offer to students of American University of Armenia in order to help them cover their tuition? Students are eligible to apply for student loan. American University of Armenia has teamed up with Byblos Bank Armenia, offering heavily subsidized student loans with annual interest rate of only 5%. And also, we can offer you installment payment plan. This option allows you to cover your tuition. Well, generally, when you sign an education contract, when you get admitted, you make your payments in 8-month installments. But in case you have any difficulties, you need to come to our office or to write an email to us, and we will allow you to make your payments in 10-month installments or 12-month installments using a whole year to cover your tuition. Also, there is work-study option available. Students need to look for available vacancies, apply and become a work study here. And the salary that they will get is going to be forwarded to cover their tuition. For that option, you need to study for 1 semester, have GPA available, and go ahead. So in case you have any further questions, I would like to encourage you to write an email to us. Our emails are checked regularly, and you will get a response to your issue at the earliest possible timeline. Or you can visit us. Our office is located in main building, room 304, and forward all the questions you have. Thank you.
Thanks, Marina. Okay, we are almost done. So, the big yellow box. It's funnier when my kids get to pick out. So we have a quick little raffle. Who wants to win something from AUA? If you don't, we'll take your number out. You're my new favorite person. I'm just saying, I like you. So you're going to help me pick out the numbers. So the first prize is a bloknot, not to be confused with a laptop. I know you looked at that and you guys got excited. Come on up. 240. You got it. Are you 240? Yerkwar karasun? Mimetazi bazilovai. I want you to use that bloknot with pride and excitement. Oh, my number picker left. You don't want to help me anymore? You're done? Just one time? So the next prize is a tote bag, so you don't ruin the environment. 85. No one has 85? Do you have 85? You don't have 85. Pick again. 234. Wait, I think she's coming. Is that you? Look happy when you're coming. I want to smile. We just won a free tote bag. Friday, I'm so happy to see you, but today's actually Saturday. Oh, confusing. You're welcome. Application fee waiver. Who doesn't want to pay the application fee? Okay. It's Lavana. My favorite number, 17. It's you.
17.
Dasne Yot. Metchapit. If you guys don't have big smiles, I'm giving you nothing. And I want you to look at Hike while he takes a photo of you looking sort of happy. Hike, ite love Japichuta. Mankanang hit gaversen kasesins. All right, the next we have nothing. Literally nothing. Library card, one of the most prized prizes. Oh, another gold number, 55. Has everyone been female so far?
No, not the notebook.
Not the notebook, that's right, the first guy. She looks happy. It's because she's wearing pink. People who wear pink are happy. Okay, what did I just do? Teddy bear. The girls get happy there. 251. Oh, a guy gets the teddy bear. Now, I'm just saying, watch as you walk up, all of the girls are going to give you a very dirty look. Watch, watch, watch this. They're giving you the dirty look. Now, wait, look at Hike with hugging the teddy. Okay, and who wants an AUA t-shirt? That's you! He deserves it. It is a size medium. You're a medium.
fine.
But wait, we have a few more, so I'm going to have you pick a couple of more. So I have 3 more prizes for another t-shirt. Don't pick yourself again, because then I'll know you're cheating. 82.
She's not a medium.
She's not a medium. You take the medium, you bring it to our office and say, give me a small because I am not a medium. Okay, the next one will be a tote bag, but remember, we're happy and we're looking at hike with a smile. You're not looking at hike with a smile. No, that's good. Okay, the tote bag. You are the best number picker ever. 176. There we go. See, Lucina knows that you clap when people get an exciting award. You guys are just unhappy because it's not you. Bloc note, not to be confused with a laptop. $165. Oh, no one has 165. Let's go again. Do you have 165? You have it? But you can take it? Thank you so much for that kind offer. Next time. 196. Yay, she's almost happy. And then we have 2 more library cards. I keep finding prizes. Beetje je biedt het tak snel. Okay, and then 2 more library cards. Okay. 160 and 173. We are marrying you together with the library cards. Oh, no one wants to get married with a library card. Okay, we have 160, 173. There you go. In the same row. Look at that. Thank you so much. All right, so while you guys come up for your library cards, Randall's got it. He does not trust me with any of the goodies. He knows I'll take them. So our next sessions, so you have an agenda. Please continue referring back to it. Very quickly, does anyone have a question or no? No, good. Okay, so what is this picture? This is the Purple Manugyan room. So this is the stage. This is where I am right now. If you are interested in MSSM and MPH, then I want you to go to this side of the room. If you are interested in the MBA or the Master of Science in Economics, I want you up here on the left-hand side or your right-hand side. Political Science and Master of Laws is all the way back there. And then TEFL, CTEFL together all the way in the back. And IESM and CIS and CTRA all the way in the back. Enjoy your program visits. Thank you. I really think we should just not do these anymore. It wasn't that bad.